So everyone's been speaking up about the horrific facial animations and ugly characters in Mass Effect Andromeda. And from what I have seen, I can confirm that this is indeed the case. The facial animations are horrifically bad, and most of the characters, particularly the female characters, are really ugly. No surprise there, right? And you can see here the difference between the male model and the protagonist in the game look pretty similar, and the female and the protagonist, the female model and protagonist, and it's crazy. The difference is astounding and huge. And I've heard that the character creator gives you few to no options on customization. There seems to be some weird, like everyone needs to be dark skinned or something trend as well as in the presets. And this is quite regressive. I don't just mean this in terms of they're regressives engaging in regressive behavior. Let's compare what you could get with Dragon Age Inquisition, which is not a good game at all, in the character creator versus Mass Effect Andromeda. And full disclosure, the character you're about to see, this was my I did two runs actually. My first run, I spent about an hour crafting her in the CC, and while she's certainly not perfect, the hair is an issue. That was an issue in that game. You couldn't do much. I succeeded in making her, one, interesting looking. Two, she's a dwarf, by the way. Interesting looking. Two, attractive and or cute. And three, not ugly. This apparently is not an option in Mass Effect Andromeda. The presets are terrible looking. I've looked at YouTube videos. And full disclosure, I played, once again, I played the trial for 10 hours, all multiplayer though. And there will be multiplayer content coming out on my channel soon, I hope, and guides and builds and what have you. But that's neither here nor there. Now, I suppose you can't really fathom exactly what's going on. It's not an unsafe assumption to assume that Bioware might have an agenda here. The fact that most of the presets are dark skinned, nothing against dark skinned presets, but I mean, you can't even change the skin color. The fact that you cannot create, well, there are no dwarves in space, but a character like the one you're seeing now that I think is at the very least cute and not unattractive, and in some cases attractive and interesting looking with the scars and the tattoos, like that's not an option. That's not an option at all. There must be something going on because it's regressive. Dragon Age Inquisition came out in 2014, Mass Effect Andromeda in 2017. This after allegedly pushing the limits of Frostbite. This just seems like another broken promise made by BioWare. And, I'm going to be playing multiplayer probably and not be touching single player until this issue is resolved. Because I want to just emphasize this, but supposedly BioWare is a game developer that stresses relationships. It's a space opera, kind of soap opera. So all those dead-eyed zombie stares that you're getting, and the weird facial animations, and the unattractive people, that's not going to incentivize people to want to engage in relationships with people. People play a lot of these games for fantastical reasons. I mean, that's why me, an average-looking, middle-aged, straight guy, spent over an hour in the character creator in Dragon Age Inquisition trying to create an attractive young dwarf woman. Because I'm going to be playing the game for a while. I want her to look good, and I like looking at her. Same reason I play female characters in other games like Mass Effect. I had more femsheps than I had male sheps, and that's a shame. But also the companions, the aliens look a lot better than the humans. I just don't know what's going on. This is aside from the crazy wonky animations in other areas like the weird shuffle run and what have you. No, BioWare has really dropped the ball here, and I don't know what's going on exactly. We could all assume and speculate, but this game was not ready to be released. They needed at least another half a year revising all this stuff. And a final bit of speculation on my part. let's assume that this is not driven by an agenda, but rather the shuffling and recycling of many people who've left the project of Mass Effect Andromeda over the last few years, and there have been many, including Casey Hudson. Maybe this is just, one animator was working on something, he left, or she left, he or she left, and then somebody comes in and they have to pick up the slack, and yeah, that's kind of what might have happened. I don't really know, but even the new BSN forum, the unofficial Bioware sociopathy network, people are disturbed by this, and most of those people either fall into the camp of social justice warrior or are very normie, if you will, to use the term. So this is even affecting people who would normally be incredibly sympathetic towards BioWare on this front. Very, very strange. I'm not touching single player until this issue is resolved, I don't think. And multiplayer, yeah, there's some issues there too. Hopefully it gets resolved, but multiplayer is fun. And I'll have a lot more to say that on the topic of multiplayer when it actually is released for us Europeans, and I can play it. And there will be builds. I'm working on my Krogan, or I was working on my Krogan mercenary, and hopefully I can get him to level 20 at least, and win some gold matches before the end of next week, and then get up a build guide like the old days for many of those of you who are familiar with me from back in the day. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on the topic. Totally wonky animations, ugly characters, it's clear. And yeah, well, what else can one say? Everyone take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.